Yo, it's day 3 of Ramadan and I'm taking an early morning walk, just trying to maximize my sense of energy at this time of day. I found the first 2 days of my fasting a little bit challenging because I was getting up at 4 AM for a small meal and some water, and it completely messed up my sleep. So I am no longer doing that. I had my last meal last night at midnight and slept till 7 AM this morning. Made a little water break halfway through, and I feel a lot better for it this morning. So that's my new pattern, but I'm not here to talk about Ramadan especially. I've had a couple of interesting situations with my clients this morning, and this is a big story about intuitive movement or intuitive mobility, whichever way I want to pull it across. But the first client of the day, Sue's been coming to my classes and sessions now for 4 years on and off. She's currently in like a sequence of 40 sessions that she started in February last year. And you know, there's little delays here and there, holidays, illness, blah blah blah, so she's not managed every week of the year, but she's been consistent now for over a year, and we're going to keep going hereafter to our next 20 sessions and so on. But Sue came into the session today, and honestly I wish I could have filmed it. Me and Sue both spoke about this, saying like, next time you come to my session with a problem, we're going to film every stage of what we did together, because the difference between her coming to the session and her leaving is incredible for her. So Sue came to me at the start of the session today and explained that she'd been having really bad pain in her right hip and right pelvic area, the right side of her pelvis, especially when lying down on her back at night in bed, and she had no explanation as to where this pain had come from. So I was okay, we don't need to delve too deep, the pain is here, what are we going to do about it? So the first thing I wanted to do was to ask Sue to lie down in my garage there on the gym floor, flat on her back. So I wanted to recreate where she's feeling the pain. So we did that, and she said this was a 5 out of 10 pain now, where it had been, say, a 7 out of 10 pain overnight, but you know, she's been up for a few hours moving around. It's slightly loosened off from when she was in bed. Okay, fine. So straight away decided we're not going to we usually do a rowing warm-up for body temperature, and just to give some cardiorespiratory benefit at the start of the session. Scrapped that straight away because rowing could actually aggravate this problem in the hip, so we scrapped that straight away. But then we go straight into her normal mobility routine. So these are 10 movements that we perform at the start of every session before we get into the main event, the main workouts. And these 10 movements have been developing not just within the 40 session cycle that she's in, not just within the cycle before that, but probably from when she was attending classes at Glenboy Park with me. And I've been adjusting and tailoring things to suit her for 3 or 4 years now. So we're going to start these 10 movements. Well, how we were practicing them, with a lot more time spent in holding positions. Basically trying to take all of her joints that we're focusing on, especially through the hips, to the maximum range that she could possibly achieve today. So to help her do that, we have to encourage her breathing, because she may be holding on and being a little bit tense from the pain. We have to get her into the position to be in the correct position first, so not changing the movement to suit the pain, but actually trying to get into the most accurate position for these mobility moves, and then exhaling to find her deepest range in those movements. So we went through the first 5, and 3 of those did lead to her feeling quite a strong discomfort. Not dangerous enough to stop the movement, but enough for me to put a little asterisk against it to see that this was causing pain. We then did a retest, and interestingly, after her first 5 mobility moves, the pain within her hips and pelvis, which was a 5 out of 10 at the start of the session, had reduced to a 2 out of 10. I was like, oh, this is good, this is what I hoped and what I was expecting to happen. However, complication. She now had a pain across her lower back, which was like a 4 out of 10. I was like, oh right, well, I was like, was that there at the start? She said no. that wasn't there, so we've added a new pain. That's not quite what I wanted to do, but let's trust the process. I know that the movements we've just performed have helped you with your hip. Let's perform the second half of your mobility routine and see what happens. So we carried on. And this time, throughout the list of movements, there wasn't any movements that caused discomfort, which is very positive. But we still addressed them in the same way that we'd taken the first half. So we took more time in each hold. And we paused on areas of, like slight areas of discomfort that weren't related to what she'd been feeling. So maybe in her neck or in her shoulders. We paused more on those areas. The last mobility move is actually Sue doing an assisted hang on the pull-up bar. I have a short height pull-up bar in the garage. And oh, hello, there's a frog. Hi, frog. Anyway, so she went onto the pull-up bar gingerly at first, and then the second time we really let her sit deep into this move, and she felt her lats, maybe even her ribs, like everything down the chain really let itself go and get to a full range of movement through her shoulders, down through her torso. We came off, we did the retest, and she's lying there on the floor like, I can't feel any pain. There's nothing. I don't feel a thing. I'm now completely pain-free. And I was so pleased that she'd been able to achieve this by practicing the movements we've been working towards for a couple of years. We have tailored and tweaked and amended to get to this set of mobility routine where she is able to come in with a pain. We follow the sequence, but we do it in a very, very intuitive and conscious manner. We slow it down, we pay attention to what's happening, we do little assessments in between, and she's gone from waking up this morning at a 7 out of 10 pain to leaving my garage with nothing, completely reset, feeling like a new woman. Because you know, when you have those pains, it's not just the pain that you feel, it's your whole body, it's your emotions, it's your stress. It affects everything that you do. And Sue's a busy lady, she's got to look after the whole house. She does all the shopping, all the housework, all the stuff. So I was so pleased that happened for her, and it's going to completely change the rest of the week. So Sue's gone away, she's going to practice especially hard, especially focused on the 3 moves that she did feel discomfort, which is the frog stretch, a cobra child's pose, flow, and what other one? Deep lunge rotations. She's going to practice those 3 moves more this week, because that is where she felt some discomfort. And if she comes back next week with the same pain, we will go through the same process. We don't quite know where it's being caused from. She probably could do with a trip to the chiropractor, but for now at least, we've been able to reset her back to 0. And that is one of the greatest things that I think we could all benefit from. It's how I treat myself as well. It's an intuitive approach to mobilizing your body. And I'm making this series on YouTube called Health Hacks, and this is a health hack. Waking up with pains, having pains in your body, which will completely affect everything that you're doing, and having the tools at your disposal, these movements, and knowing how to slow it down, focus on what you feel, and move in a way that actually improves how you feel within 1 hour. Completely changed how she feels. I thought that was an amazing story. A different story was my other client this morning, who's actually asked me to reschedule. She's woken up with pain, which she can get lower back and hip pain, but she knows the source. She was doing some heavy lifting yesterday. She's just maybe overdone it, but she knows the mobility routine that we've been creating for her, and which she's at the end of 40 sessions as well. For over the past year, I've been working with Vicky. And now she's going to spend the next week really spending time on her mobility routine as well. So stripping back some of the stuff she's been doing, just focusing on the mobility. And she wants to do that so that she can get the most out of my session. We've moved to like a monthly, as she's finishing off her sessions, we've gone monthly to kind of have a bit more longevity, but also, help her transition towards having no trainer and doing this all herself. So she's actually been able to say, I don't feel good. I know why, and I know what to do to go fix it. I don't need to see you, James, today, because I'm not going to get the most out of your time. And I thought those are 2 slightly different stories that are both going to have the same outcome. Vicky's going to spend the next week mobilising herself to feel better, and she knows she'll feel better because we've been through it before so many times in the past year. Sue's case, she knew when she woke up this morning, I just need to go to James's and things will feel better. And it's two different approaches towards having a trainer and getting the most out of me as a person. But to complement both people, they've both made the right decision. And I'm perfectly confident that Sue will practice these things for the next week, and she won't present with this pain next week. And I feel exactly the same about Vicky. She will not present with that pain when it's time for her session next week. And that, if there was ever a health hack, then intuitive movement, intuitive mobility is the health hack. That's the end of the talk today. If you've got a pain and you don't know what to do about it, I'm available. Come talk. Let's see what we can do. It's an absolute pleasure to help people feel better, not just by telling them what to do, but helping them learn what to do themselves. That's the story.